The following live broadcast is rated Podcast 16. Parental guidance is suggested for children under the age of 16 years old. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow to Ear Shoulder Voice on YouTube and Facebook. Or visit our website at www.earshouldervoice.com.
We've got to work together.
Good evening and welcome to Ear Shoulder Voice. My name is Keith Litfin. I'm glad to have you here. Call me Crazy Keith for the night because that's just how I want to be. What are you afraid of? What are you scared of? What keeps you up at night? What movies do you watch and have to cringe under the covers? What do you hear when it goes bump in the night and you don't know what it is? More so, what are you emotionally afraid of? Are you afraid of things like losing people? Are you afraid of things like life and death? What is it that keeps you always on edge? Well, we're going to find out tonight because tonight our topic is fear factor. What are you afraid of? We want to know. We want to find out what it is that creeps you out. So be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow to Ear Shoulder Voice on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, all the good stuff. And you can follow along with all our shows and engage us live in the chat, and we will talk to you and respond to all your topics. So please, please have fun. Enjoy the show. That's what we're here for. All right, we're going to bring in our first panelist tonight. Please welcome to the panel, Lucid Lenny. What's going on?
Hi, guys. Hi, Keith. I miss you.
Hi, Lenny. I miss you, too. I always miss you. So good to have you back on here. Because it's not the same without you, I got to say. You're our bright light. You're our sunshine.
You're just afraid to not have me on the show, right?
I'm scared shitless of it, I'm telling you.
I know.
But, Lenny, I mean, are you afraid of anything?
You know, when you first decided to do this show, I thought I wasn't. And then the more I thought about it, there are a few things. One, I cannot walk on a lake that's frozen over without wearing a life jacket because I'm like afraid of falling through. And my girlfriend thinks I'm crazy, but I told her, I said, if we fall through, at least they're going to find me and they'll still be searching for your ass in the spring. So that's one thing. So
I take it there's...
Yeah, she has a big ass. They might find her.
I take it there's a few more then. Is drowning have anything to do with that?
Well, I don't know. It's just the creepy out of what's underneath you that you don't know. I don't even like really swimming in lakes or oceans because of that unknown of what's going to grab
you're a
hold
fear
of
of the unknown.
Yeah, probably. But I do have one other thing. It's driving behind those trucks that have all the cars on them.
Was that before or after Final Destination 2?
I don't know what Final Destination 2.
Oh, you've never seen those movies? Oh, yeah,
No.
That's the big freeway scene with the big truck. It was logs in that case, but it was creepy as hell.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to bring in our next panelist, Necromancer Nikki. What's going on?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, good to see you. So, Nikki, what would you consider your top fear?
My top fear?
Well, okay, second from the top. We'll find out.
No,
Just give
I'll
me
give
one.
you my top. My top is I have a horrible fear of heights. Like, I literally I freeze. I can't move. I don't like it. Get me down. I always say that's why I was made to be so short. I'm not made to be too high up.
Can you go on planes?
Very highly intoxicated, yes.
Well, I know a lot of people where intoxication really helps with getting on those planes.
Oh.
Most of them don't even want to remember the trip at all.
No, and then they start moving, like when you hit turbulence. No, I'll stay. I'll drive.
You're way the hell up there on a plane.
Yeah, I think, the fall, like, I'm not afraid of planes, but like I said, it's being in the sky and knowing the plane might not be there anymore. That scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd rather explode in a plane than fall from it, though, because what do you do after the first minute of screaming? You're out of stuff to do.
I read that you would, you would die from a heart attack before you would the impact because the fear could be so crippling.
That's what I heard.
I was on almost plane crash, and they were praying, they were crying, they were throwing up, all of that for about 45 minutes. We kept trying to land and it couldn't. So then it would go back up, and this is like a 12 seated plane, and it would go back up, and it was like straight up like a roller coaster, and then it would start to shake when it would go back down because there was 80-mile-an-hour winds and freezing rain.
Well, that would definitely freak me out.
Yeah,
Yes.
I wasn't. But here's the thing: is I wasn't scared. I'm more scared to walk on ice than that. I was just like, okay, we might die.
Fears are funny that way. Some things, it's weird what you'd be scared of, and some things you're totally fine with.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's a lot of what we're going to discuss. I'm going to bring in our next panelist. Please welcome for his first time, juggler Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey, how you doing?
I am great. Hi, everyone. I'm Jeffrey.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Nice to
Jeffrey-
have you on here, Jeff.
Jeffrey, are you hungry? Just want to make sure there's no one around you if you are.
Yeah, for Jeffrey Dahmer, we got to be careful of that. That's the whole reason we're doing this, like via the camera thing, because we can't be around Jeffrey. Jeffrey takes a bite out of anybody. It's not pretty.
Who is Jeffrey Dahmer, actually?
Oh, see, that joke is wasted on him.
Yeah.
The joke is
I
wasted.
don't get it.
He was a
Okay.
famous serial killer.
Let him look it up. Look him up.
Look him up, Jeff. Before you actually look him up, though, we'll get it. Because what is your fears, Jeff? Do you have any fears or any big fear you want to talk about?
Yeah, just like missing out on things, losing like family, friends, being alone.
Being alone is definitely one for a lot of people. And missing out. I think that's where a lot of fears come from. Is it's all based around being alone or having nothing or losing things around you. A lot of fears are. It's all about loss for the most part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
loss of life, usually the most common one. Bill, you're right about the airplanes. It's not the fall that bothers me. It is that sudden stop. You know, all the way down. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Just a little.
Done. Completely done.
At least you'll see it coming.
Yeah, you will very rapidly, very rapidly at that point. So we're gonna start off here with it. Lenny, you talked about your fear of ice. Now, what actually brought you to the conclusion that you were afraid of that? What were you thinking about that brought that up?
It was more falling through the ice and then being stuck in the water, and then hypothermia sets in, and nobody finds you until the springtime.
Well, I mean, it really won't matter for a period. Just the first few minutes is where you'll be scared of that. But you'll be well preserved. Maybe they could bring you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
They
always
do
that
freeze people.
possibility.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it has more to do with just even the water thing. I don't think it's drowning. I think it's sitting as a bobber in the water, wondering what's underneath me that's going to be eating on my toes, or if you're in the
God.
ocean, it could be something swallowing you whole.
Now, does that fear actually bother you post-mortem? Like, does it
How
bother
would I
you?
know?
Well, no, but I mean, your fear of it, does it bother you that you're still alive when that's happening, or just that you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
corpse
No.
that's happening to?
No, still alive. They can
Okay.
eat me all they want if I'm dead. They
That's
can
what I
have
meant by
at it.
post-mortem,
So,
like after death.
Go for it, Jeffrey.
So
If
Jeffrey,
I'm gone, have a meal.
Jeffrey doesn't like frozen foods. He doesn't. What about you, Nikki? Have you ever had an experience that's brought your fear to light way too much?
Way too much. Well, probably having a husband who's a damn roofer, with the fear of heights. I mean, at a very young age, like I remember my uncle taking us up, he did get me up there, but I was terrified. My grandparents' roof to watch fireworks at Four Bears Water Park because they lived super close, and it was like from that moment on, it just instilled this horrible fear. I don't know what it is. I just freeze. I don't like it.
So what about like you personally? I mean, I know you have it with him, and of course, being a roofer, that's a very scary thing. What about like, is it completely heights, like Ferris wheels, anything like that?
Yes. Like, I mean, and I'll go. I'm not a party pooper. I've gone to amusement parks and stuff, and I try to face my fear, but it's still, to this day, you ever get like that pit feeling, like when something terrifies you, it just, I don't know.
Oh, I totally get that. So is there ever anything that you get over? Is there anything that's higher up that you can handle? Like if you're surrounded by a wall or something like that, does that help with the fear? Or a gate fenced in?
No, not really. It's just like, because I can't even get to the edge. Like, Greg, like I said, he has no fear when it comes to heights. He'll walk to the edge of a cliff with
Ugh.
no freaking gates, and I'm over here, like, get away from there. Like, like, you're just gonna fall. But, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
I didn't
matter.
think I used to have a fear of heights, and I guess in certain situations I do. But if I'm aware of what's around me, it doesn't bother me. When I was a little kid, like probably 10 years old, we went to Canada, and we went on the CN Tower in Toronto.
Yeah.
I think it was CN or Skyline. I think it was one of the two. I can't remember which. And I went to the bathroom. Well, they were doing construction on it at the time. So stupid me accidentally went. I don't know if I went through the wrong door or what, but I locked myself into the area in the hallway to get to the bathroom. I opened the door, and literally I'm outside at the top of this tower looking down. Now, they had a little construction thing going around, but it was under construction at the time, and I freaked so bad, and I still am scared to death of that.
Oh my God, you
Like-
made me scared. Like, I'm imagining you up there.
Yeah, and I was just a little kid, too. I thought I was dead for sure. I couldn't get through, and finally somebody opened the door and found me because I couldn't get out. The door had locked behind me.
Yeah.
You know?
So, are any of you guys afraid of like swimming in the ocean?
I
I
mean,
am.
not
You
as
are-
terrified, but what are you like as scared as Lenny Jeffrey?
Yeah,
Like-
I'm not afraid of like wallowing around the shallow end, but like very deep water where it has undertow. Then yeah, I had a experience when I was in high school. I was swimming in the St. Clair River with some of my friends,
Lime juice.
and I almost drowned. I was pulled out of the water by two people, and they had to rescue me.
Wow.
Okay, so that's definitely something to be afraid of at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. So
Yeah.
drowning is it, and a lot of people. I actually get a little bit on the ocean. I didn't used to be scared of the ocean and swimming because I'm a swimmer at heart. I can keep me in
Yeah.
the water all day, all night. Lakes doesn't matter.
But is
But
it the swimming or is it like the sharks?
I'm starting to get to the point, I think, as I get older, that I'm a little more leery swimming in the ocean. Because when I went and swam in the ocean, I'm like, I don't want to go too far. And you know what? You're right, Lenny. It's kind of like it's the sharks.
Yeah.
It's
Dun,
the
dun,
things like
dun,
that. You're
dun.
like, where are they?
Exactly.
It is
It's
like we went to St. Thomas, and we swam at two different beaches. I snorkeled at one. I saw some really cool creatures under there, but it was always in the back of my mind. I was thinking jellyfish or what, the ones that sting you, or I was thinking sharks. But the first beach we went to, there was all these like little baby sharks. They were like coming up to us. They would like nudge us. They were just sand sharks. They're not trying to eat humans, but the fact that I knew it was a freaking shark, like bumping me in the water. I didn't stay in there very long.
All right,
I-
I'm going to get to Bill in a minute. I want to go to Jeff. We haven't really talked as more about your fear. So you've got a situation right now, I believe you're going through, that is affecting your fear. Is that correct?
Yeah, my injury.
Okay, so what is the injury exactly?
So I'm recovering from knee, ankle, and wrist injuries, and it's kept me from work. I can't drive. I spent all summer at home, just taking it easy.
Well, if it's any consolation, a lot of us did, but for totally different reasons.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And well, yeah, it's just been getting to me really. My anxiety's been through the roof because I've been glued to my couch.
Are you getting so? Is this always been a fear of something like you're afraid you're not going to be able to be normal again? I guess normal's the term
Yeah.
I'm using, but not what I don't
Yeah,
mean
well-
anybody's abnormal.
Yeah, those thoughts have been manifesting. I'm just afraid that, this is going to be permanent. And
cranberry.
Well, you know what? I will say this. One good thing, in a sense, about that fear is that fear hopefully will be succumbed to the past.
Right.
Because I believe you will probably get better with that if you. It sounds like you're taking care of it and you're trying to treat it right, so it's going to be good if that's in the past.
Oh yeah,
Bill.
for sure.
Bill here, he's been shot more than once, stabbed multiple times, attacked by dogs, and faced off against multiple guys. I'm assuming one for every single date, marriage, engagement you've been through. Never thought he was afraid until he watched his mother pass. Fear that I would never see her again. My God, you nailed that one with me, Bill. Because Bill, that
Thanks.
was the hardest thing I ever went through. And I don't know what was worse. I've always feared death with people. Death is my biggest fear, 100%. I don't like it. I don't like to think about it. It takes me in a very dark place that I cannot stand at all. But my mom passing was the hardest thing I ever went through. It was unexpected with her, and then I watched my grandma slowly die. That was after my mom. My mom died unexpectedly. But death, I think, is one of the hardest ones because no matter what you believe, what you think, what you know, the back of your mind doesn't know what's on the other side.
Right.
You know, and that's a scary thing to know whether or not somebody's there or somebody's not or watching over you. But as far as the other thing, Bill, with all the other stuff you went through, because, well, you're basically a human pincushion, it appears, at that point. Were you afraid of any of that? Were you ever afraid of dying from that? Were you afraid of, just getting hurt, honestly? No matter how powerful we are and strong we think we are, we're all afraid of the actual pain, even though we may be able to handle it. We don't want the pain.
Right.
I think one of the things that he was mentioning, too, with their fear of never seeing him again, sometimes without your mother or family members being sick, you fear the death because you don't want to be without them, or you don't want to lose them, or you don't want to not see them again. It's not about you, because Bill says he's never feared for his own death, just others. And I kind of share that, but I don't want to die either. So I kind of don't like that thought as well. All right, we're going to bring in one of our guest panelists right now. Please welcome Morbid Millie. Millie, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi, Millie.
Millie, glad to have you back. You're not singing for us this time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can sing again now, at least, but I'm much better from my surgery. So.
Yeah, we lost you for a while because you went through that. Glad to see you've recovered so well. Glad to have you back on here. For sure.
Glad to
So,
hear.
Millie, what do you consider as one of your fears?
Like Nikki, it's fear of heights for sure. But a little bit different because I love roller coasters. But I think I feel strapped in and secure because I was going on those ones that you're really secure in. So I feel like I'm safe. I'm not going to fall. But I can't go to an edge of anything from a height.
So you're not much
I
for the
don't like-
stand-up roller coasters or the hanging
No.
roller coasters.
No. Well, hanging's okay if I'm strapped in. Like, my body's in. I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. Is okay.
But you're dangling.
So you're okay if it
That's okay.
crashes, as long
It's,
as you're strapped in.
If I'm going to be able to fly out, I have a problem. So I don't like the ones with a dinky little bar that I don't feel is keeping me in. I don't like those.
Bill,
But
where's
if I'm
all the
strapped
single
in,
women?
I'm okay.
Bill's asking where all the single women are, and basically your whole thing with Allie
Oh,
scared them
single
away, Bill.
ladies.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Allie. You got rid of him on there. All right. So do you have any other fears, Millie, besides the height one?
Bees or other stinging insects, wasps, yellow jackets.
Are you
those-
allergic?
Like, I freak out. No.
I am.
But I freak out.
I'm not afraid
Like,
of
I
them.
freak out. I don't know why. I just freak out. Like, it's hard to control myself. I want to scream and run away. It's bad.
Oh, wow. What
Yeah.
brought that on? Have you ever been stung? Is it the
Like-
fear
Yeah.
of being?
Yeah.
So were you
I've been
afraid
stung a few
before that
times.
time? Before the first time you got stung?
I don't think I was. I think it was my first time. I think I was 10, and I happened to, I was playing with friends, and I fell, and I happened to fall down right on some kind of stinging insect, and it got in my hand, and it really hurt.
Aw.
And
Do
then
you
ever
take-
since then, I had trouble.
Do you take any satisfaction knowing most of them will die?
After they sting you, right?
No.
Yeah. Some of them.
I
Some
don't
of them are
hate them, I'm
stubborn
just
little bitches
scared
and will
of
sting
it.
you over and over.
I know, because I've been stung by a yellow jacket as well. I think it was a yellow jacket or a wasp, whatever. The ones that
Wha-
sting over and over again, because it got, I was walking with my stepmother, and I was wearing sandals because it was summertime, and one flew right in between my toes. and that repeatedly
Oh.
stinging me there, and I couldn't walk for like 2 or 3 days. It was really painful.
Oh,
That
Oh
kind
my
of
gosh.
cemented that fear.
Yeah, that'll
And I had a
definitely
little
do
bit
it.
as a kid, and that I think it's when it really became where I really have a problem being around them.
Does that ever affect you? Like, if you go to a restaurant or you're eating outdoors at a patio and you see one, are you like, we're not going here, we're not staying here?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's one of those really deep rooted things.
yeah. Going to Yates, I hate it.
But the
Because
cider
the-
and donuts is so good.
I know it is good, but oh, I hate it because there's always bees everywhere. I freak
You can't
out
have
so
good
bad.
cider without bees circling you.
right.
It's just
Ain't
the
good
rule.
cider.
Yeah, if you do, that's not good cider.
Right.
If there's no bees around, that cider sucks. Go somewhere else. On
Or
there.
just buy an extra glass and set it a few feet from you.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll work too. That'll
That's an
definitely
idea.
work. All right, Millie, thank you. We're going to get back to you in a few minutes right now.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that. We'll talk a little bit more. We're going to bring in our next guest on here, Jan Wicked White. Jan, how you doing?
I'm here waiting for you.
Well, guess what? We were waiting for you, and there you are, and we're happy to have you. So, Jan, you're about this topic. What's your fear?
I have 2 of them, snakes and deep water.
Snake in
Yeah.
deep water seems to be a big one. Like, not, I know a lot of people that won't go into lakes or anything. I know some that won't swim in a deep pool. Even now, is your fear of deep water, Jan, is that related to the idea of drowning, or is that related more to the fear of what's under you?
It's what's under me, which is nothing.
Okay, well, eventually there's something.
So
I mean, if I can't touch bottom, like go to the lake, walk along, go down into the water, and I'm very careful because of the drop-offs, if there are any, people that dig up the sand under their feet.
Can you
And
swim?
Okay.
can you swim?
then-
Is that part of it?
I just, like up here in Texas, you know, you go out to a lake, and I used to go with my stepdaughter, and we walk along and go out, and she see me digging. She goes, "What are you doing?" I says, "I'm not digging. I'm having my feet looking for the digs so I don't fall."
Can you
I
swim?
understand that.
Can you
Because-
swim?
Can you swim, Jan?
Yeah, if with the story behind it is my ex, when we would take his dad's canoe out, and he would purposely get in the way of a boat that went by with the weights,
Oh,
and
wow.
he'd go right into that wake with the canoe, and then he'd rock it. And I swear that water was no more than 2 foot away from the top of the canoe.
Oh, wow.
So and I knew that we're in water, we're in a canoe, we're on the lake. There's not going to be no bottom unless I touch it, and I drowned.
So yours is definitely a drowning issue more than the creatures in the sea, which is, and there's a lot of creatures we don't know about in the sea, so that's a
Yeah.
good thing to be afraid of, especially when it comes to the ocean.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys. So Keith, I have a little ocean story. I was chaperoning. Yes, me chaperoning one of my clients' daughters in Cancun. So all the girls wanted to go, and the boys, on this banana thing. It looks like a big old caterpillar-y banana thing, and being pulled. Well, it's crystal clear water. You can see everywhere. I didn't really want to do this, but I did, and they promised me, those boys promised me that they would not, like, tip us over. And they did. And I am like a bobber in the water with all these kids, and all I did is make them I just kept pulling them all around me, so if that shark comes, one of y'all are getting eaten before me. Until that thing
So
comes
it's the
back.
whole bear in the woods thing. You don't have to run fast, you just got to run faster than your friends.
Exactly.
You know, 'cause they'll get 'em on there.
Exactly.
I'm going to bring Danielle. I don't know if you're commenting right now. Apparently, there's a small internet issue with Facebook somewhere because I'm not seeing any comments from you. But I'm going to go to Bill right now. His picture ain't showing up. I think there is an internet issue with Facebook, the Facebook feed. You like being at the State Fair carrying lemonade. That goes back to the cider thing. It's true. It's not real lemonade unless there are bees surrounding it.
Right.
If you don't say "shoo, get away" at least once, you're not drinking the real product.
Right.
And he also commented he's found 3 people dead in Michigan lakes. That fascinates me a little bit. You've-
Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, Bill, you found them? Like, you personally found them, or you know of them? Just curious on that. So, what about, anybody have any non-real fears? Like, based on something fictitious, like you don't like vampires or werewolves and ghosts. I believe in ghosts personally, but everybody has their own opinion on that.
I do believe in ghosts.
Does anybody have any, like, non-real ones? Because I
It's
do.
not a fear. It's
That's-
an interesting thing to me.
What
Oh,
is?
which one is?
It's interesting. Spirits.
Oh, spirits are. See, those I'm not afraid of ghosts. I believe, like, to believe in ghosts is to believe that I personally believe they'll help. They're there to help you. I don't believe
Yeah.
they're intent
guides.
on evil.
Yeah, they're
When
guides.
my husband's mother died at the house, I mean, a month afterwards, I was sitting in the front room watching TV, and I could see the top of our trash can go back and forth. And I'm like, I looked at it, and the air conditioner wasn't blowing it because it's not that strong to blow the top of that trash can. And so I went over there and I touched it and I stopped it, and I went step back down, watched
my
TV
gosh.
again, and it did it again. And I'm
Now,
like,
when go ahead.
okay, Betty, I know you're here, which was his mother's name. And I know you're here. I love you. I miss you, but I'm glad you're well. Wherever
On-
you are. And
on
I
the
took
initial
lid
outset.
off- I took the lid off the trash can and put it in the garage.
Oh wow! On the initial outset of those occurrences, when that happened, were you afraid, or did you immediately know what it was, or did it take you a minute to go? This is
It took a minute to figure out what it was. But that's only one thing because it was so quiet in the house and I was preoccupied watching TV and then this caught my eye. And being that her and I were so close, I knew it was her.
I'm going to get to Danielle in a minute. Bill said he's been there for 2 searches. I asked about the finding the dead people in the Michigan lakes, and he just came upon one. For our people with a fear water, how would you react to that? I'm going to get to you in a minute, Danielle.
Okay, I had that sort of happen.
Really?
Yeah. So this was when I was a kid. We were Lakeville Lake. One of the not Lakeville. I'm sorry, Lake Orion. We were out on a boat. I was with my boyfriend and his friends that were all from Lake Orion, and we were swimming. And then one of the guys was fishing, and his line got caught on a rope, and he was pulling up the rope, and finally he just cut the line, and then my boyfriend at the time sends me or calls me like a day or two later and said that rope, there was somebody committed suicide and had a cinder block and stuff on there, and I thought he was kidding, but it was actually in the news. He's like, check the news. So maybe that's why I don't like swimming when there might be something floating up underneath me.
Well, especially if you're Bill, because one of the bodies just bumped his leg. Ah! Yeah. That's enough to creep you out. Anybody else with the water fear? How would they react to that? Like you, Jeff?
I have another story. My friend, he had a summer party about 3 or 4 years ago, and this girl came with her boyfriend, and they were swimming in the water by themselves in the pool, and the rest of the party was in the garage. And then later on, we're wondering where the guy's at, because the girlfriend had came back to the party, and then everybody was wondering where her boyfriend was, and we turned around and he's floating in the pool, unconscious.
Jeez.
Yeah, and worst thing ever. He, two of my friends rushed to get him out, and they pulled him under the ground. They were doing CPR. They were trying to revive him. They did everything they could, but he was gone right there. And yeah, that was it.
Oh,
Watching
that's
somebody
awful.
die is one of the hardest things, or seeing them after they died, and just realizing that person isn't coming back is one of the hardest things in the world. Yeah. Going back to the fictitious thing, Danielle.
Zombies.
Danielle, I completely share your fear. I have a fear of zombies. Now, here's the odd thing about that. I love zombie movies because, well, in
Yeah.
a sense, I like to be scared. I do. I like the feeling of being scared. But
Walking Dead.
zombies freak me out, but it's not the idea of, just flesh-eating zombies. They're going to bite me. They're going to take out. I'm not scared of other zombies. I'm terrified of the idea of being a zombie. Of everything that makes you, you. But everything that makes you is gone. Stop laughing before I mute your ass.
Sorry.
I know deep down I won't be. My God, Lenny, shut up!
I can't
You
wait to see you.
insensitive bitch! I was like, I'm crying here!
And I'm
But
just
no.
waiting to find you on that Thriller thing,
I mean, I don't think I really would be, but the thought, and this actually goes into stuff of losing your memory, amnesia, something that scares me. It's the idea of not being who you were.
Yeah.
And not being in control and just having one instinct. I'm not worried about the brain eating like to that extent. Just that when I see a zombie, I'm like, this was at one point a living human being with a personality that lived. Lenny has to leave the show unexpectedly. I'm sorry. I was like,
Okay.
you big meanie. Hold on a second. You're not the only one. Millie's laughing here. Millie, what's so funny?
Because we can all picture Keith as a zombie, right?
I'd look good as a zombie. I'd be one
I've
sexy
seen you
zombie,
in-
let me tell
I've
you.
seen you in zombie makeup. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a good zombie.
He'd be a party zombie. He'd be like the
Yeah.
DJ zombie.
And this is I would be DJing the Thriller video.
Yeah.
Zombies with Danielle says hers a little bit different. It has to be with coming back from the dead. So not to think people can't come back from the dead. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, the idea of bringing some people back from the dead is very appealing to me.
Yeah, but it makes me think of Pet Cemetery, like just that.
My next line was going to be Pet Cemetery.
Yes.
Hi Wayne, how you doing? Glad to have you back here. Hi Wayne. You should be a sexy zombie this Halloween.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You should, Keith.
That's just going to be my corpse anyway. I'm already going to be pulling that one off. Bill had mentioned where he had found initially the bodies. Bill, just so you know, I can't really post where that is because I don't want to defame anybody out there or any company. But the possibility of things actually being able to happen is the scariest, like Michael Myers. You know, that's actually a good one. Serial killers. And Michael Myers, especially if you go to number 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, are more a realistic aspect of killings. You know, he's not supernatural, he's just pure evil. And pure evil scares me. That's why Halloween is one of my favorite series of movies, which we'll talk about on Sunday. There another one that does it that I find creepy is like Scream. Because Scream is a legitimate can happen experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those do. Basic slashers and stuff, no, they don't really scare me at all. Just, immortals, because once they're immortal, the fear's gone from them.
I
The
get
zombies
scared
is-
by the some of the ones the supernatural ones, like the demon devil
Yeah.
type.
So
one.
does
And I
that from
think a lot
belief
of-
or?
I think it's because how I grew up in a very evangelical home, like Pentecostal, and to get an idea how very much about there's spirits, that there's angels, but there's demons, and the demons were like out to get you or something. That kind of, when I was a kid,
Okay.
I don't know. So watching those movies, they really freak me out.
Now, what about now? Like
Because of that.
stuff now. Does it still kind of creep you out watching it?
Yeah, because I guess from when I was a kid, getting that.
Bill, Jason sucks. Jason kind of does suck, but you know what? His mom was a badass bitch. That's another one we're going to talk about on Sunday. He's talking about Jason Voorhees, Lenny.
Oh, I thought you meant like from Friday the 13th.
That is Jason Voorhees.
That's
Oh, you
Jason
actually
Voorhees.
knew. Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't know his last name. I just knew it was Jason.
So, Danielle here, the reason she doesn't go to haunted attractions, haunted houses. So, anybody else scared of haunted houses? Like, do they creep you out a little bit?
I mean, yeah,
I
I'm a
like-
chicken.
I like
Well,
them,
so-
but a couple parts scare me. Like, I don't like the chainsaws because they like to, even though they've taken the thing out, they like to run it up against your back, and I don't like anybody touching me.
That's still creepy as fuck when they do that, though.
That is really creepy.
And then
And-
I don't like clowns. Clowns are
You
creepy
know.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gateway
They're
for
weird.
killers and disturbed people.
I
Yeah.
agree with Danielle. I've been, like, as a teenager, you go to haunted houses, and I remember there being some real creepers. Like, they would just, like, lurk in the lines,
Yeah.
And nowadays, I'm with you, Danielle. Girl, I ain't spending my money.
Bill's
But
not
haunted
that
hayride.
disturbed. Bill's that disturbed. He's definitely that
There was-
disturbed, no matter what he says.
The
Why else
one
would
thing
you have
that
been shot so
scares
many
me-
times?
Yeah.
There's
Or
one
was
thing
that
that
in a haunted
scares me.
house?
Ooh.
That might have been with him. I think it was by his exes. Hi, Allie. Bill's missed you. We missed you too. You've never been. This is cool. Allie actually has been in real haunted houses because she is a ghost hunter.
I want to do that. Oh,
I
did that
wanna
once.
so bad.
It was fun.
Allie, did you get into ghost hunting at all because you believed in ghosts, or did you believe in ghosts more after the ghost hunting? Just curious.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Because I know some people that don't believe it, but they're fascinated by it and some want to get to the reality of it. And then they
Ooh, I
do it,
believe.
and they're like, fuck this. I don't want anything, any part of this whatsoever.
I believe. I'm just afraid of what I would be opening my spirit to by participating, like by willingly going to a haunted place.
I did that, actually. I did a ghost hunt. And
Spend the
I was
night
kind
in
of
one.
skeptical. Oh, wow. No, I don't think I would have done that. I was skeptical before, but after, because we got proof, okay, so basically, my husband and I, we had our cell phones, so just until the equipment they used, whatever. We were just kind of laughing about it, but we had our cell phones, both of them recorded, and we were in a room, there was no one in that room, no one near us. The other group was in a whole other area of the building, and we didn't hear anything at the time, but we went back and played his cell phone, and the recording, and there was a voice distinctly said, get out now.
See?
And
Listen to that voice. Don't play around.
Yes.
Juggler
we were
Jeffrey.
leaving already when we listened back to it. We were in the car. So I was like, okay, well, we left.
Mr. Dahmer, we brought up the haunted houses. You had something to input on that too. With the haunted houses.
No, they don't really scare me that much. Like when I go, I don't feel any fear at all. Me personally, and I used to go to a few of them, but they never worked on me for some reason.
I get more sinking feeling in the haunted houses in the line getting there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the
waiting
build
to
up.
approach that line when it gets cold out,
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
and you start to, and it sinks in your stomach. You get there and it's fine, but getting
Yeah.
up there.
The build up to it.
Allie said she's fascinated with it. She only had one super strange experience personally, but she loves it. It's exciting, and the unexplainable stuff is like that's what really grabs you and gets you in. Are you a fan of those like shows? Anybody else watch those ghost hunter shows?
I do, yes.
Do you think
Yeah, a few episodes.
do they creep you out at all? Do you ever think it's staged or made up?
Sometimes I kind of wonder. Other times I'm like, maybe, maybe.
Danielle lived in a haunted house at one point. Quite interesting, really. It's what made me believe in ghosts. How many people here lived in a haunted house?
Me,
believe
yes.
they did.
A couple of them.
I believe I
Yes.
did. Not even a bad haunted house, just where you believe there was a spirit residing there. So tell me about that, Nikki.
There was a couple actually. I think my grandma's house growing up, and then there was 2 houses as an adult. But the third house, me and Greg lived in, there was just a lot of. It felt very evil. The spirit was very evil there, and it was always. I feel a lot at night. We did not know until after I had been having these weird feelings that our house was part of. The husband killed his wife. And then there was like a standoff with I won't say the city, but a standoff with the police department. And he ended up killing himself. But in the process, they had shot at him numerous times. After we found out, like all the bullet holes were in the garage. We found like the shell casings in my backyard. So his evil spirit was there. I got goosebumps. It was there.
Just thinking about it does.
Seriously.
I know My experiences, I've seen a lot of stuff like, things opening, things moving in the house, but I never was scared. And that's one thing my mom actually had taught me when at a young age, that don't fear them, because most of them, sometimes they do things to let you know they're there.
Yeah.
And that brings me to Bill's comment. Your brother passed a month before your mom, and he haunts the house. Now, do you feel that he's good, bad, fucking with you, or what? Because I do believe that they can be jokesters, too.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Chupacabra, really? Bill, get out of here.
I know when my dad passed away, it was just like a day or two after he had passed away, but we were at our aunt's house, so his sister's house, doing picture boards for the funeral home, and we're like just talking. We were talking about him, reminiscing, whatever, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the lights kind of went bzz, bzz, and then bzz, bzz, and then it was like totally fine, and we all looked at each other like,
It could have been a rat gnawing on the wire.
"Good one, Dad."
But no, it probably was somebody doing that. Allie said that it's Ghost Hunting's not exciting as a show. A lot of it's just sitting around the dark talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Now, in my experience, if you do that enough, you're going to start hearing voices anyway.
Yeah.
So
Your
you
mind's
got to
gonna play
separate
tricks.
reality.
Yeah.
Right.
But then something can always happen, and she said that she had a very big experience once. I'm kind of curious what that was, if you have the energy to type it out there, Allie, because I'm really curious what your experience was about.
Oh wait, it looks like. Oh no, that's Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle said it was 2 children in the house. So you actually know what happened, Danielle. So you know the situation of your house being haunted. Were the mom killed her 2 kids in the garage with the car, and so yours weren't evil ghosts. Well, what about the mom? Was the mom alive? Like, because she could be there fucking with you too. Never trust them. Killers are bad. But I believe that if you're an evil person, you're not going to be around to haunt. Personally, on that. Yeah, so Allie's going to get back with us on that. Which
Do
is
you believe
awesome.
do you believe, like, the way I was raised, if, say there's a suicide, their spirit is always in limbo. That's just how I was taught. Is not necessarily what I believe, but it's out there. So if that were the case, then would that evilness still lurk, you think?
I don't think so. Well, suicide's supposed to be where you are in limbo. Yeah, that's where you're kind of stuck, depending on what you believe in. I don't think it's always limbo. My personal belief is you're simultaneously in 2 different planes. Like, you are living, but you've got the chance somewhere else as whatever you're living as, energy or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have ways of communicating if you need to let people know you're there. The mom killed herself too, so yeah, I'd worry about the mom. The kids may be nice, but obviously that mom is not Mother of the Year material. So I would be a little bit concerned with mom on that one.
Yeah.
So what's your scariest movie, Keith, that you've ever seen? Like,
That's
what
actually
movie?
going to be on Sunday, but the scariest one,
Okay.
honestly, I'll tell you though, and it is because the first time I saw it was The Ring.
The Ring. I've never seen.
Oh
it.
yeah.
When she came out of that TV, the very first time I saw it in theaters, that creeped the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
So much. That was probably
Yeah.
the one scene I was just like, no fucking way. I was like terrified for a minute on that. Now it doesn't bother me as much, but when that movie came out, for people who remember it way back then, that was a huge scene, and the effect was just phenomenal to see it at that time. Now it's kind of cheesy. And Final Destination a little bit, because the idea of like death creeping on you. Lenny's never seen a Final Destination movie,
No.
but it's pretty much you cheat death and death comes back to get you. There's no actual killer,
Okay.
and it's really creepy.
Sheena's was Freddy Krueger.
Freddy
we had-
Krueger.
Yeah, we had the VHS tape, and the guy I was with at the time. She was young, and she's still scared of it.
That
He would
the
take-
first
he would
one
take-
was by
He would
far
take
the
the
worst.
tape out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would
See-
rewind it. He would show her. He would have her hold the tape. He'd put it back in. He'd rewind the tape while it was playing. Nope.
Yeah, that's Freddy. I wasn't scared of Freddy Krueger, but I was raised on horror
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
My mom took me to every end of the spectrum. She brought me up on horror movies and musicals. Okay, so if you haven't seen Anna and the Apocalypse, it's like one of my favorite movies. It's a combination of the two. Final Destinations were great, Danielle. What about aliens, Bill? Is anybody afraid of aliens or believe in aliens or conquering the earth
Hey,
or
come
anything
on,
like that?
I believe the earth.
Yeah, Jan, go ahead first, and then I'll get to you, Jeff.
Yeah, come on down and save the earth.
Right now, we're in need of it. But if it was a normal time, and we weren't going through all the crap that 2020 has brought us, would you be afraid of the aliens, or would you be happy with the aliens?
I'd make friends.
What if they didn't want to do that? Just saying.
What if they wanted to?
Maybe
Friends.
I don't have a fear of aliens taking over the planet, and I'm kind of on your side. If they come down now, go ahead, have your shot. We fucked it up, so let's see what you can do.
Yeah, you don't want this planet.
What about you, Jeff? What about aliens?
Well, if we saw aliens, it would be they would either be friendly or they would be hostile. And if they were friendly, then they might be willing to trade with us and help us better ourselves. So that would be cool. I mean, I'd be open for that.
Well, yeah, that would be nice if we opened up
Yeah.
trade deals with aliens.
Yeah, right. I mean, who knows what's out there?
I wonder if
I
we
mean-
can get some of those like little mini like supercharged guns, like on
Right.
you know what I'm talking about, don't you,
Yes.
Jeffrey?
Yeah. I mean, we're here. I mean, who's to say that that somewhere else in the galaxy that other people aren't thriving like we are?
Right?
It's I believe it's very possible.
And
Just
now,
that we either haven't seen them or they don't exist.
well, you got stuff like Mars Attacks too. I don't know if anybody's seen Mars Attacks. I thought that was a
Yeah, we
hilarious
have the
movie.
movie.
But I would probably
have
be
it.
one of those people that come up and say, I'd be like Jack Nicholson. Why can't we find a peace? Why can't we get this? And then they would kill me. For sure, that's what would happen. And yeah, it does feel with the pandemic kind of like the movie The Happening. It's traveling on the oxygen in the trees. That's true. That's kind of, and another show came out. I think it's Amazon, might be Hulu. I think it's called Utopia or something. And it's actually about a virus that's bringing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
very poor timing on that show.
I've always said like in TV shows and movies when it's like something our government could know is happening, but they just haven't told us. They're telling us through movies in a sense. I've always said that. Call me weird. I don't care.
Well, no, government conspiracies and aliens and finding out what they are. A lot of people think that Men in Black made a fucking fortune off that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That they're out there. I'm going to get back to Allie because Allie responded. So she was training the guy, took me out to Memphis Cemetery or Yale. And way in the back of the oldest part of the cemetery, it was midnight or later, got all the equipment set up, night vision camera, recorders. The guy says, okay, I'll be back in 20. And he left you there. You were smoking a cigarette, trying to come up with a question. So I said into the pitch black, does my smoking bother you? Oh, I don't know, where this is going. Immediately, I hear and feel a crunch step on the rotten tree in front of me. You can't. Oh, God.
Wow.
It wasn't the guy because he was in the car. That is some creepy shit. That is some creepy shit. Danielle definitely agrees with you, Nikki. with the conspiracy stuff, I believe. And does anybody fear government? Government takeovers? Not ours, not current situation, leaving all that out of it. Does anybody, as government as a whole, fear that?
Not
No.
really. I don't really think
You don't
about-
think they're watching you?
I do believe they are. I mean, for crying
Yep.
out loud, Facebook knows what I think, not what I speak. I'm getting advertisements for shit I think in my head. Something's up. But
Yeah.
I ain't scared.
You read too much into that shit. That's not
Yeah.
happening that way.
No,
I definitely
it's-
think it exists.
What's happening?
It's just my best friend was more into it than I was, and he used to tell me all the time about how it was driving him crazy, like just thinking about conspiracy after conspiracy, and eventually he just decided to let it go, and that was the last I heard about that topic from him, but. To me, it seems like a very possible thing.
I mean, it's possible, but I think we live in a weird society when it comes to that because we want the Jetsons future, we want the Star Trek future and all that. Well, that comes from things around us paying attention to what we're doing.
Yeah.
And they're finally developing that technology, and now everybody's like, oh, no, it's the government. It's the government watching us as spying. No, they got technology that does pay attention to what you're doing and tries to feed you stuff you're interested in. You have to kind of do a little bit of that, even computer spying, in a sense, to get that kind of technology out there. I got to bring up the movie one here, because, ow, you're so right, Bill, in Misery when she broke those ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God. You know, in the book, she chops them off.
Oh.
That sledgehammer hurt way more than ever reading it in a book. It's like, reading her chop it off. They are watching us right now. I hope so, because I hope a lot of people are watching us right now.
Yeah, like, get this one, you guys. No.
I don't care who you work for. Watch us. We're a good show.
Hey, Keith, I love you guys so much. I hate to have to get off of here, but I'm
That's
such
okay.
high demands. You know, I got
I know you're
secondary
popular. You're
engagements.
popular. We just creeped you out, didn't we?
No, I love you guys. No,
All right,
I
well-
love this topic. I'll be back.
I know. We'll see you, Nikki. Thanks.
All right, guys.
Bye, Nick.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, here we are, just the five of us. What are we afraid of? We're losing people minute by minute. We don't know what's going to happen next. Who's going to be the next to go?
I'm
Look, it
afraid
was
of
Millie.
losing my darkness.
Nah, Millie's
There
still
goes
here.
Billy.
And Allie,
Oh
no,
my
his
God.
name isn't actually Jeffrey Dahmer. We just gave ourselves all unique names, or I gave everybody a unique name more than anything. But he's just Jeffrey.
I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't even know who that is.
He doesn't even know who it is.
You're going to have to look that up, and you'll realize why we don't want to be in your kitchen.
Wait.
Okay.
My
that's-
cooking is excellent, thank you. There's no human people involved.
This is
that are alive.
interesting. This is interesting. I want to go to Bill because
Yes.
this is a legitimate, not scary type of fear. Afraid of falling asleep next to a woman. Why are you afraid of falling asleep next to a woman? What is your fear on that one, Bill? Speaking of some of those fears we have, what about emotional fears like being alone? Anybody deal with that?
Yeah.
Anybody afraid? I know. We talked a bit with you, Jeff. What about you, Millie?
I think in the back of my mind I have this fear of if something were to happen to my husband, because he's become, so important, such an important part of my life, and has really supported me in so much. It would be really hard to be without him. So I think, like, if something happening to him, there's a bit of that fear.
I don't like being all by myself either, but I've had somebody in my house once before when I came in with a butcher knife and all of that fun stuff. So now it's kind of like you just take precautions, but I'm not really scared. It's not that I can't be alone. So I get it.
Yeah.
So do you have, the fear of being alone, not necessarily just like sitting in your house alone,
Okay.
but losing everybody that matters to you, and you're the only one like in your family left.
No.
I don't know
Good with
who's
that.
playing music. Oh, well, music's gone. Okay. Just the
Not
fear
mine.
of...
It could be
Just-
it could be mine in the bedroom.
So do you have any fear of like losing everybody you love? That was my biggest fear for a long time. Now I practically have, but that was my fear. Bill, nice answer. Bitches be crazy. All right. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that. Sorry, but that's one reason to fear. I bet you there's something more deeper underlying there. Danielle, that's a big one for me too. Like I said, I fear death.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
afraid of passing away alone or dying alone, and that you hear people that aren't found for days,
Yeah, that.
and that I think is a big fear I have as well.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like being alone. I'm like, what if I go to sleep and I die? Like I'm actually going to be there and notice it, and
Right.
that's definitely one that scares me. But you know what? I figure half of me says I'm going to be dead. Who's going to care?
Right.
The other half
That's the way I see
says that kind of sucks because it reflects on your life and who's there. Like literally, you could be there days and nobody's going to check up, nobody's going to care, nothing like that. I had one thing I had told briefly on the last show. I think it was in the after show or when we were done, so it might not have actually aired. I had my biggest fear is being alone. Is I had a dream when I was a little kid. Now this is going to be a stupid ass dream. I'm going to tell you. But it has some real ass impact. Lenny's gonna laugh because Lenny always does. So this dream has stuck with me forever, and it's the weirdest dream I've ever had as far as the way it was set up and produced. And I'll explain why it produced and directed. I'll explain that in a minute. And I'm sitting in a boat with all my family, every close member of my family, and we're sitting there. Each one jumps off the boat, they become, now here's the laugh, they become a lobster and they swim away. And I never see them again, but like it's really a fear of dread that I'm never going to see these people again. Each one did. At the very end of my dream, literally credits rolled, pan back on me in a boat sitting alone with nobody around. So that dream stuck with me. That was really my fear of loneliness. But what the killer is, everybody in my family that's passed away, which is the majority of them, passed away in the exact same order they jumped off that boat.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So that freaks the hell out of me right now. And I think that is something that has stuck with me forever, and that is partly my fear of loneliness and death. Well, glad to have you here, John. John's in the chat. He actually gets to be here for a minute because he's off work. Just glad to have you here. Being buried alive, Wayne.
Oh, that'd be awful.
So we have another fear that Lenny might strike with, being buried alive.
Yeah, that would be awful.
So we found something else. Good job, Wayne. Good job, Wayne. That's a big one. Now, what scares you more, being buried alive or being cremated alive?
Ooh, cremated alive. That would hurt. I don't know, because you'd be sitting there plump with the dirt, plump with the dirt for a long time. At least you're up in smoke right away and you're done with it.
That's what I'm thinking on that. You got to think with the buried alive, you don't like things nipping at you. Well, you're going to have a lot of little creatures going into your body if you're buried alive.
Yeah. No, I'm getting
Buried alive
cremated.
sounds awful.
My
What is this?
husband had a dream. This was about a year ago. He doesn't remember his dreams when he
Thank you,
wakes
Bill.
up. They're gone. And I went to the bedroom, and he says, "Yeah." He goes, "I had a dream." I said, "What was it?" I said, "Well, never mind. You don't remember." He goes, "No, I remember this one." I said, "Okay, what is it?" And he says, "We were someplace, and there was somebody trying to get people across a road, and people kept looking at me like I was dressed different, funny." And I says, "Okay." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "My sister was there. You were there." He said, "But everybody kept looking at me." So I told him I knew what the dream was. And he said, "What was it?" I said, "You were dead." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "When you go to somebody's funeral, graveside, whatever, people always look at you. You weren't dressed funny. You were dead." He goes, "Well, what about the guy trying to get the people across the street?" I says, "The cemetery where your mom and stepdad are and where we are going to be, it's in the country. And there's an asphalt road. And there's cars that can go park on both sides. And there was probably your funeral, and the guy was getting the people across the street. So the cars wouldn't come."
Oh, wow.
I said, "That's what it was." I said, "You were dead, and that's why people were looking at you." He goes, "Well, how come your mom wasn't there?" I said, "Your mom came and got you already."
Dreams have the power, I believe, with a lot of people to foreshadow and forecast things. And I think that's why some of those and those deeper ones terrify us so much. Because we always reflect on the dreams we remember. And it's really weird because you remember those dreams, but there's so many dreams you don't remember. Why do you remember those ones that seem to foreshadow? And that's always a killer. Allie, I love that. You can haunt everybody's dreams. They're going to show up. They didn't show up, those motherfuckers. I agree, Allie. That sucks. Wayne definitely says being buried is going to be worse than the cremation one. The good thing is, I guess the embalming kind of makes sure you're dead. Do you ever wonder if you're still actually alive in there? Even without your normal blood. And the buried
You're a
starvation.
zombie? Because you're a zombie.
No. Get off of my zombie fetish. All right. Mine was in the back. Okay, I want to go around. We're running out of time here a little bit, so I'm going to go around. I want to find out, like, Lenny, with your fears, you go boating and stuff and swimming. How do you deal with those things? Do you ever come across it? How do you deal with those fears if you come across them? Alcohol for some, that can do it.
Does it take no, really, I wear a life jacket, and when I walk on ice, I look like a stupid idiot with this orange life jacket while my girlfriend and I are walking across the lake.
Do you feel safer at all? Do you feel like if you did fall, you're going to be fine, or do you still fear?
I'm gonna get out. She's gonna be under the ice. I'm not gonna be under that ice. I just find myself making more and more precautions, not so much being like stupid, but
And Allie with pronounced dead but not. Autopsy scares me. Not being dead, Autopsy. That was a creep movie. They've had a few movies like that. Those are creepy, to be alive and not noticed. Bill, he's 29 years old. He still has night terrors or frightmares, if you will.
Aw.
And he's also apparently dyslexic. I think that 2 and 9 are reversed on there. Bill's not 29. I know Bill. It's like, on there, I still have them too. I still get those on occasion. You never know what you're going to hit. Usually it's about the death and stuff like that. We're going to go over to Jan. No, we lost Nikki. That's right, because she left. Jan, how do you get over your fears when you're put in a situation where they come to light pretty much?
With the water,
Yeah.
I go on the shore, I look out at the water, but I'm not even going to go in that water. And the other fear is snakes, because when I was younger, my brother held me down on the front room floor and had a gardener snake and had to crawl over me. And I'm still terrified of snakes. So I stay away from snakes and I stay away from that water.
So if someone has a snake and brings it near you or around you, how do you react? Do you run away or you just kind of back up a little bit?
My mom wasn't there. Nobody was there. He had me pinned down on the front room floor, and it was just a garter snake. But I like watching movies with snakes, like Anaconda and stuff. But as for a snake, I was sitting outside Sheena's house recently, and I was playing a game on my tablet, and she has a welcome mat in front of her front door. And I didn't see this snake until it was on top of that welcome mat. It was a gray snake. And it slithered, and I just picked my legs up real quick, and I'm like, okay, go ahead. And it went around me, and it went into the bushes. And Sheena found the skin of that snake in the tree a week later.
Oh. If you're afraid, Wayne hates snakes and spiders. I've got a weird fear with snakes and spiders. I'm not afraid of them at all. I'll pet snakes, hold spiders. I think spiders are my friends, etc. They're there to help. However, if I wake up and the first thing I see is a shadow of something that looks like a spider or a snake, I will jump out of my fucking bed and run into the fucking hallway scared shitless. And then it'll be like, it's like all in a matter of 10 seconds, and I stop and I go, wait, you're not afraid of that shit. And I go right back to bed. But somehow when I first wake up, I'm terrified of those things, but I'm not terrified any other time. I don't know if that's something to do with what I dream or anything like that. Jeff, your fear, mostly you've got the water, the loneliness. How do you get through those fears when they approach you?
Well, when I'm at home, when I'm like dealing with like my anxiety, I just get up and walk around and move around. That kind of helps me feel a little bit more better. And every day I'm able to do more walking. So I'm not feeling those type of fears anymore as much.
So you feel that your situation is getting better and you're going to be able to be better.
Yeah, the more I've been going to physical therapy and it's been helping me walk and do things. I'm just trying to stay active and do more things.
Spider crawling in your nose while you sleep.
That too.
That is, believe it or not, though, that is legend. That's not the real thing that happens. Your mouth is in no way any place a spider wants to go at that point. But it's still creepy to think about.
Your ears, though.
Regardless.
It's happened with your ears.
Ears are different.
what?
Yeah, so.
Oh
That freaks me out.
Lenny, we're hitting little fears you have, aren't we?
no, I have Orkin.
She cannot
Orkin
say...
sprays for that shit, so it doesn't come into my house.
No, but when she says spider in your ear and you go, ugh, that is a fear you have there, Lenny.
No,
you are not as...
I've never even heard of it. So how could I be afraid of it? So thank you
they've
so much,
removed
Millie.
that
Now I'm
from
afraid of
people's
it.
See, we're not here to talk about our fears as much as to bring them live to you.
Yeah, there's been cases where they've had to remove bugs from people's ears, different types of bugs, like the crawlies in the ER.
Those are like warm canals, bugs like that. You've seen some of the big ones they've taken out of there.
Gross.
It gets creepy. What about you, Millie? Millie, yours is a height situation. I know that's a big one.
Mainly, yeah. Avoidance if I can. I avoid heights if I can.
But
Other
if
things,
you were,
in the moment, if I have to be something like that, or like with the bees and stinging insects, things like that, I try to breathe through it, breathing exercises to calm myself down, so I don't act like a crazy woman, because I will if I don't.
I get that. It's to go. My mom had when she was alive. She had a huge fear of like Ferris wheels and stuff and heights. That's why I had originally
Yeah, I
brought that
can't.
up.
I've done them, and that really freaks me out because you get
Was
stuck there at the top, swinging back and forth as they're letting people on. That's the part I can't do. I feel like I'm gonna
so
fall out.
so is there any instance that anybody? My mom's instance was when she was a kid. She was on a Ferris wheel. Somebody tried to push her off, and it was her brothers. Apparently, or her friends. I don't remember exactly. Probably both, because yeah. But aside from that, and that's where it developed. Does anybody know where their fear stemmed from initially? Did they have a moment? Millie, obviously the stinging. We know that with this being
You know
stung
that
by
one.
insects.
I'm not sure with the heights. How that one? I
Not
don't
sure with the
have a
heights.
story.
Lenny, anything with the water?
Well, maybe it was during, having that dead body underneath us with a rope. Maybe truly that is where it kind of started, because I don't remember being scared of it before that.
That could be part of it. What about you, Jan? Any instance you can think of that brought that up? That
Just
is responsible
when
for
I
your
see
fear?
the title of the show and the things that are afraid of, and I'm like, just like the deep water and the snakes. I mean, spiders don't bother me. I deal with them. I shoot them away and sweep them up.
Yeah, Wayne, that's why I'm drinking on the show.
Exactly.
Definitely helps. And what about you, Jeff? Aside from, I know, the injury one, but any of your other fears, is there anything that particularly caused that, you think, that stemmed it?
With like the water.
Water for you, yeah.
Definitely. That time I almost drowned, and
So that's your big one, is probably because you almost drowned in there. And that's where
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who've
I have
had
that
near-death experiences. Yeah, and that's where it came from. Movies brought out a lot of your fears. That does it for a lot of
Yeah.
people, because technically that's where we see a lot of this stuff for
Right.
the first time.
Right.
You don't really see spiders
Jaws.
being mean and snakes being mean and all that, really, until you see them in movies. And it brings out a lot of fears like that, or zombies if some of us are weird,
Exactly.
Yeah.
like me and Danielle.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne. But it really is. Mine is, like I said, mine's definitely death and loneliness, and I get through it just thinking of all I really do have, but that doesn't always work. Sometimes it reverses, and you think about what you don't have in that case. Death, I feared death more before I pretty much lost most of my entire family. So that has made me look differently upon it, like it's going to be okay because you'll be with them one way or another. You'll be in the same path they did before having lost them. It's hard to deal with stuff like that, though, when you're talking about fears and stuff. So are there any other fears out there that anybody forgot to mention? Because definitely heights and water has pretty much ruled this panel on those two. So those are two big ones. Any other fears you can think of? Any TV shows that creep you out? Take a real documentaries, autopsies, nothing.
Driving behind a big semi, or sandwiched in between the two of them.
Oh yeah, being stuck between the two. Yeah.
Oh, that is creepy. I gotta admit that I don't think I'm scared of that until I'm in the situation.
Yeah,
and then I
and
sure
then
as
you
fuck am.
speed up, right?
Yeah.
You're
Speed up,
speeding
slow
up.
down, whatever. You're like, am I gonna get to that cab when they start to merge over? Am I better off trying to
Exactly.
slide under the truck? I don't even know.
Yeah.
after watching
Ooh,
Star Wars,
losing a
I-
child. We have a
Oh.
show coming up in November that deals with that, actually. It's about losing a child. We're going to be talking about that one for sure. That's a very, very tough situation nobody should deal with. My grandmother lost her daughter, which was my mom, before she had passed away. So definitely can relate to that. Whether unborn or not, I've lost unborn children on there, and some people have lost full-grown adults and some young kids. But no matter what, losing a child is something I think every parent fears. But they fear it like it's never going to happen. I like the superhero music in the background, by the way. I don't know who that is, but I
It's
like it.
probably me.
Okay, no, I kind of like it. I can't like it.
There was a
Allison
officer
can't
here-
think another one.
There was an officer here in Texas, or not even an officer, the Texas Storm Chaser. And it's a group, and he had his daughter with him in the back seat, and she was in the car carrier thing. She was 4 years old, and somebody hit him in the back end, and she got pushed into the front end.
Oh.
She ended up in the critical care, the children's hospital, whatnot. and I think it's been a few days now. She passed away.
That's terrible, and that's losing the child. Allison, you find more of life's challenges than fears, and that's a great way to look at all your fears. They are, because every fear is something we can overcome. So always seeing it as a challenge or something you have a say in, and that you can get that you're better than that fear. That's always really important, and I appreciate that, Allison, because it is really important. Fears control us our entire life a lot of times. Fear is something that keeps us on a path to actually work better for ourselves, but it's also something that keeps us timid and makes us, stay away from certain things. But one thing that was actually brought to the attention of the panel by Allison is they are challenges. They are life challenges. Nothing should ever fully control your life. Remember, there's pretty much always tomorrow, and if there's not, you're not there to fear it. So you're spending all your time alive fearing what you won't fear at the end. And that's something that you can kind of look at sometimes is I can get over this. I can do better than this, and I'll handle that hurdle when I come to it. Just like going to that haunted house and getting that sinking feeling. That's one of those things that you get scared going inside, you're nervous, you get through it, and it's a great time. It's not always what you think it's going to be. Sometimes control them. Stay away from snakes and spiders sometimes, especially if you're just waking up, because that's scary. At least for me. On there. I'm going to bring somebody in really quick who decided to pop on just to see if he has anything to add to this. He does not, because he just pretty much disappeared on us, so we don't have to worry about that. Beetle John is gone. All right. So I want to thank everybody for being here. This was a fun show. A little creepy a little bit. I kind of got a little shiver in certain moments, so I appreciate that. You can always, today's topic we were talking about fear factor, what are you afraid of? You can always like, share, follow, and subscribe to Ear Shoulder Voice on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, anything. Follow us. We stream live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope on a regular basis, so always be sure to get over to those pages, like, share, subscribe, and follow to everything you can. This coming Sunday, keeping with the Halloween theme, is Slash. It's going to be the best and worst horror movie TVs and villains. Everything, we covered a little bit today, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of topics to talk about on Sunday when it comes to this stuff. Because we'll talk about the good villains, the bad villains, the ones that did creep us out, whether it's Ring, whether it's Freddy Krueger, or anything like that, and the ones that are just plain fucking stupid. Which would be like, the remake of the Ring, remake of Freddy Krueger. I was like,
scary movie.
That just don't count. But either way, that's sure to be a fun show for us. My name is Keith Litfin, and thank you for joining us here at ESV.
And I'm Linny. Goodbye, guys.
Bye. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Millie.
Bye.
And thank you, Jeff. It's been great. Sorry, John. You got it back too late. Creepy. Oh, God, creepy.
And who do we have here?
We have John. John finally appeared.
John.
He kept appearing, but he didn't connect.
Oh.
So we didn't get a chance to actually get him on.
So, John, what are you scared of?
Can you guys actually hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, hey, it's working. Okay, I need to fix my computer. There's something wrong with it.
Wrong show.
I swear, every time I get on it, it's making me try to put in like a new password, or it asks me a bunch of questions. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of the wrong people getting a hold of my information.
So, are you a serial killer or something?
What?
I can understand that. You a serial? Why are you afraid of people getting a hold of your information?
I mean, just like, I mean, because then they can get into anything that they want to of mine. I feel like I have to type it in on too many things.
Mm-hmm. Like identity theft, right?
Yeah.
You type it in once, it's everywhere.
My identity ain't worth stealing, but yes.
Welcome back, Nikki.
Thanks. Sorry.
You made the after show. You're good. I don't know what Jeff is doing. I don't know if Jeff knows he's still like connected and stuff. He's like putting things away.
This could be fun. Let's
I know.
just keep it rolling.
Let it play out.
Yeah.
I'm going to, but I'm kind of, it could reach a point that I'm going to have to cut them out. We don't know what people do when they think they're alone.
I came in when you were talking about like identity theft and stuff. I don't know what you said before, but I actually just recently got my identity somehow tapped. They were having a good time on my debit card in Las Vegas, apparently.
Oh, great.
I did get most of it refunded, except for one of the charges was to Tropical Smoothie. And at the same time, the same state, everything during the transactions. And my bank said that they didn't have enough information to prove that specific charge was. And I'm like, really? I'm so glad it was $30. Like, give me the hotel room at the casino they charge. Like, give me that shit back. But,
Wow.
I'm part of like the monthly subscription box, FabFitFun. So I'm part of this monthly, or it's like seasonal. It's like every 3 months, a box that comes every 3 months. Well, I just got a letter from them saying that they had a hacker or whatever, and all my information, including my bank account, was compromised. I think that's how they got the hack. So I think I figured out, but still, what the frick?
I'm just waiting for him to walk across, like taking his clothes off or something.
That's what I don't know if I'm necessarily waiting for that, but yeah.
Here it comes.
No. Here it doesn't come. It doesn't come at this point. I was like, we don't want to think of that. Millie, you were really good. Kept you on a little longer. You were good. Good input tonight. I appreciate having you on. You're a lot of fun when you're on here too. I like you. And Lenny, always good to have you back.
I miss you guys.
And John, it's been a long time. I don't think you've ever been live on a show yet.
No. Oh, is that who that is? I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
No, one of the very first shows I was.
Yeah, he was.
The intro one briefly.
Yeah, the
Yes, I had all the
intro. Yeah.
cats.
But not a topic show.
Right. Oh, here it comes.
No. I'm just.
You guys, if he starts like
Normally-
eating something that looks like a hand.
Oh no, we don't want that. Oh my God, you're cackling almost. I was like, you're cackling, Lenny.
Sorry, but that was awfully like a wrist that went in his mouth.
I don't want to know anymore. He's eating people now. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think I'm gonna have to change the intro to this. This is definitely gonna be rated NC-17 at this point, if not worse.